and let's talk about this Nintendo Direct. Okay. It was very disappointing in my opinion, guys. Okay, very disappointing, borderline trash, if you ask me. And I'm gonna say it now, and I've seen some people talking about it. Nintendo, in my opinion, has finessed their Switch 2 owners. Okay, if you own a Nintendo Switch 2, you know the warm butter has definitely been put on the counter, and it has been used, and it has been used thoroughly on you. I don't care what you say, I don't care how you feel, I don't care how you try to deny it. Okay, you were handled. Nintendo came in, kicked in your house, kicked in your door while you were sleeping. Okay, you woke up stunned, you didn't know what to do, and you were hit over the head. Your garments were removed, and they took that tub of butter, they stuck it in the microwave, they warmed it up, they let it liquefy, they pulled it out, they put their tips into that warm butter, and then they did strange things to your person into the night.
Oh, what the hell? They've been fondled with.
That's what Nintendo has done. That's what I feel Nintendo has done to all of their owners when it comes to the Switch 2. They fucked you. You were finessed. You were played, no pun intended. And they just have not shown, shown me personally anything that warrants a purchase. All they're doing is raising their prices like everyone else, and it's not worth it in my opinion right now. It's just not. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some things that came out at the Direct. They did have Xenoblade. Okay, Xenoblade is one of their flagship IPs, which is a great IP. I will give them credit for that. The Xenoblade Genesis. So that is coming out. I want to say in 2027 is what they were talking about. Okay, so you have that, but then we get into this other shit. We get into Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Fire Emblem is another one of their IPs that is pretty popular. Okay, it's not a system seller by any stretch of the imagination, but it still is a solid IP, especially if you're into RPGs, right? They're known for those. And the problem with this is, guys, the game is going to be $80, $70 digital. Okay. So this is what a lot of people have a problem with Nintendo. These bonehead moves with these prices and some of the things that they're doing, right? I know I have a problem with it. It's ridiculous. It is. And why are you making someone pay that for physical? And first I need to know, is this game completely on the cartridge? Because if it's not, why am I paying this for a physical? And most of their games, let's keep it real, they're not fitting on that disc anymore. They're not allowing these games. It's rare occurrences that you'll see that, oh, this game is going to be on the cartridge completely. But that's a rare thing now, and that's what Nintendo is about, in my opinion. Part of the joy and part of the charm with Nintendo was, hey, being able to get these games, take them on the go, and having the game on the cartridge, not worrying about downloads and being connected to the internet to play these things. Or else, why would you why would you even create this hardware where you have a cartridge where you can insert the cartridge, and you're not doing that, right? You're just not. And the problem is, a lot of people who are Switch owners, which there are a lot of them, there's like 155 million people out here who own a Switch 1, that they're looking at this and saying it's not worth upgrading, it's not worth getting this. I'll just continue to collect the cartridges for the Switch 1 and just keep it moving, right? And Nintendo's starting to see this now. They're starting to notice this. That's why they're not going to abandon the Switch 1 market like a lot of people thought they were going to try to do, just distance themselves from that. No, they can't afford to do that, because there's a lot of people who think like I think now when it comes to the Switch, and it's like, it's not it, right? And so I bought a Steam Deck instead of a Switch. I was at a crossroads, and I said, I got this money, I want to get the console, and I said, what, let me hold off, because I've always also wanted a Steam Deck, and let me just do a deep dive. And so I did that, and I dove into Steam, and I dove into all of that, and the pluses and minuses and everything, and same thing with Nintendo, and overwhelmingly the Steam Deck won. It did. It won. And even now, I mean, I'm so happy that I went in that direction, especially now with all these super price hikes for the Steam Deck, okay? Because they fucking are pulling out butter everywhere. Steam has butter in every store. They have in your convenience stores, 7-Elevens. Their butter is spread across the galaxy, okay? Because almost $300 price hike for these damn Steam Decks is ridiculous. Okay, and so I feel almost blessed because I was grandfathered in and I got it at a decent price, and now you can't do it. So I'm glad that's why I made that decision. But now it's I mean, now Nintendo's looking like the cheapest route. Like, oh, well, I can get a Switch now because it's the cheapest thing out right now. Okay, even at $500, it's the cheapest thing out right now. So even as much as I hate what Nintendo's doing right now in this current stretch with the Switch 2, it's almost unavoidable. You can't deny that. You can't tell somebody, well, I got $500 and I'm on a console. I mean, shit. What else are you going to do? You can't get a Sony. You can't get an Xbox. You can't get a Steam Deck, right? The only thing left on the table is Nintendo. So, I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do, it depends on a lot of things, in my opinion, too. It also depends on what other systems do you have, or if any, okay? If you have a Sony already or an Xbox already, which a lot of us already do, then I would not waste my time with the Switch unless you just wanted to have it, because everything else that they pretty much have now and that they showed at this direct was third party, okay? Everything else is already out, has already been out, and is a better rendition of that for the most part, okay? They may give you a game that comes out later, and because it came out later, they have the advantage of saying, okay, all the DLC is included too. And that's really the only advantage you're going to get. As far as me being a consumer, I look at Nintendo like, I'm just not happy with downloading games on that. Okay, that's what a Steam Deck is for. That's what something else is for, these other ones. I looked at Nintendo as, hey man, I buy these games physical, they're on the cart, and I'm good. Like, that really bothers me. So it's really hard for me to accept Nintendo and accept the things that they're doing, the business practices, especially with the cartridge and the fake cartridges that they got out here, which aren't even real. Like, I don't like that. And the predatory price hikes on a lot of these games, $80 for this fucking Fire Emblem game, that type of stuff I frown down upon. And the fact that I have a Switch 1 and still have games that I would like to add to that library is keeping me at bay. And I'm saying, you know what? No, I'm not dealing with the Switch 2 right now. Plus, the Switch 2 has no games to make me say, oh, where's the system seller at? That's the next thing I want to say. Well, where's the system seller at? There's not one. There's not a game here. And the last game on this list that I want to talk about is, let me segue into it, is Ocarina of Time, the remake, right? They showed us a brief trailer, which, if you can call it a trailer, okay, of Link sleeping. And that's it. And they said the game's coming out in 2026. And this is what I'm talking about. They said the game's coming out in 2026. We're already halfway done with the year, and you have no fucking gameplay to show. And this is a Nintendo Direct. So just bad, in my opinion, bad decision making. And a lot of people are turning their head like, what the fuck is Nintendo doing? And I'm not really so high on the graphics either. I have to see more. That's what I'm saying. I have to see more because I'm a huge Ocarina of Time fan. That's what's so crazy. I have the original on the Nintendo 64. I have the version on the 3DS. Okay, so I love the game. My favorite Zelda, probably my favorite Zelda game. It is, but it's still not a system seller for me. Okay, I want to see some new shit. And I want to see more on this. I don't even know. If I'm sold on this. If I'm being honest. But where's the new Mario game? Where's the new Zelda game? The new one, completely from the ground up. Where's that shit? Right. Those are what I'm looking for. Okay. Where's some of your other IPs that you had? I need to see more. Astro Chain. These type of games, where are these at? I need to see something. But right now, so far, nothing. Okay, Star Fox. Okay, it's okay. There's actually a demo out you can play now with it. And I talked to my friend who was a big Star Fox fan, and he downloaded it, and he said something's off about it to him. It doesn't, because that was going to be his next purchase. He has a Switch 2, and he was, saying that. And he's told me, like, look, man, I mean, it's okay, but it's not, it's not what I thought it was going to be when I was buying it. And that's what a lot of Nintendo fans feel like when it comes to the Switch 2 right now, especially if you are a gamer and you own multiple systems. If you bought the Switch 2 because it's a Nintendo, and you just, I'm buying it because Nintendo's their games. They're gonna put out their version, and they're gonna have bangers. But where are they? That's what most people are asking. Where are the bangers? Okay, and that's it. It's just they haven't produced enough right now for me, and it's just where it is. And like I said, Stellar Blade is coming. That's a plus. It's like I said, it's a plus if you don't have any other system. Okay, so if you're just a Nintendo fan and you're okay, that's cool for you. That's cool for you. But most people, when it comes to Stellar Blade, we already have it. I already have Stellar Blade and a better rendition of that on top of that. So it's not, it's nothing, that I'm worried about. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, they have a particular market, and you look, Some people were saying, I love the Nintendo Direct. You know what I mean? Hey, if that's how you feel, man, hey, more power to you. I'm not here to shit on your parade. I'm just here to tell you how I feel about it and why I am disappointed and why I have an issue with what Nintendo's doing right now and why I don't have one right now. Because I really wanted to support Nintendo with this, but they've been doing a lot of greasy shit lately, and I just can't support it. I can't get behind it. And until that changes, I'm not going to be spending the money on that shit. Okay. The only way I would spend money on that is my son. That's it. If he says, Dad, I for Christmas, that's what I want. Okay. And that's it. And it would hurt me to do that. $500, man. You know? So I don't know. It is what it is. That's my thought. That's how I feel about it, guys. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Like I said, I'll say this for the last time. If you don't own any other game systems and you want a system and you know you kind of your cash is a little light, I you know, the only thing you could technically buy right now is a Switch. That's the cheapest thing you can buy. And then still, even when you buy the Switch for $500, you have to play some games, right? So you got to buy those. So depending on how new or how old the game is, if it's third party, you might be able to get it for a decent price. But you know, but if it's not, Nintendo is known for these prices, these crazy prices. Okay, even Switch One games are still ridiculous pricing, depending on what you're trying to get. So I mean, you're pretty fucked no matter how you look at it. And I'll say this, and this will be the last thing I say. And this is something that irritates the shit out of me when people talk about prices on stuff. They don't mention the complete price. When you say $499.99, that's not the price. Okay, that's not the complete price. You're not paying $500. You're paying $550. Okay, you are. So when you see these prices on these Steam decks, you know, this is going to be $879. I'm like, what? It's not $879. It's $975 after taxes. Okay, give me the entire price, because that's a game. That's something that's, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a game. No, you're not, because you're gonna be paying taxes on that, and that's your game. It's gone. So let's just stop that. But anyway, that's a side tangent thing. That's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're new to the podcast, please consider subscribing. We do this every week, every Monday. Where podcasts are listened to, Spotify, wherever you listen to your shows, guys, it's there. And then on YouTube, every Wednesday, I will be uploading these episodes. So be looking out for that as well. That being said, that's going to do it. I love you guys dearly, all my OG listeners. I will see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.